What's up, YouTube? This is Tahar14 from Team TFB, and I've got a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile here for you. It's called Chaos XYZ Exceed. I took this to regionals a while back and got 3-3 with it before dropping, so it was a fun deck, but I managed to get 3 wins off of it, so I was pretty excited about that. But then I made just a couple tweaks in it and took it to locals the other day and ended up topping with it, so I decided to make a video on it, so here we go. And here's the basic lineup of the deck. You've got your XYZ portion of it, XZ Cannon, Y Dragon Head, and Z Metal Tank. They're light attribute machine types, so they have a lot of options with it, a lot of machine support out there, so it's pretty cool. And it's got the light attribute for the chaos portion. But basically, I would just, summon these, have some extra defense. They actually turned out to not be too important for the deck because, it's not, you tend to go for the more meta part of the deck, so it was still fun to use. It was pretty awesome. In here you have the primary searchers for the deck. You got 3 Shining Angels and a Sangan. They're both Shining Angel's light attribute and Sangan's dark attribute, so chaos right there. Shining Angel can search out itself, or Z Metal Tank and Y Dragon Head. And it's just great because you can have your level 4 out on the field, so you can get out another one, Exceed, or Synchro, or just any options you have in your hand. I run 2 Battle Faders. 3 seemed a little cluttered. I have one in my side deck, you'll see shortly. But yeah, great defense, great chaos fodder, Caius fodder, and their dark attribute, so great for the deck. Here's my tuners of the deck. 2 Gen X Ally Birdmen, level 3 machine tuners, so it's machine type, great target. Level 3, so I can get out my Black Rose or Ancient Fairy, or synchro it with Cyber Dragon, get a level 8, which you'll see here shortly as well. And it's dark attribute, like I said, so it's also great chaos fodder. Got your typical Honest for your light targets. 2 Cyber Dragons, so I can target Chimera Tech over Dragon in my extra deck for future fusion. Got 2 Caiuses. They're awesome in chaos. I'm sure everybody knows about them. You can get them off quickly through Battle Fader or with Shining Angel, being able to special summon extra monsters so you have something on the field next turn. Dark attribute also. Chaos Sorcerer and BLS. Also, obviously, meta in Chaos decks. Chaos Sorcerer removes face-up monster, or it's just a 23 beater. BLS, I'm sure everybody knows its awesome effects. Super overpowered, 3000 beater. Both need a light and dark attribute removed from play to special summon them. So, great card to have. And last but not least, Cyber Eltonin. A lot of people don't know what this does, and it's awesome for the deck. What it does is that you remove from play from your field and your graveyard every single light attribute machine type monster, and he comes out on the field in either attack or defense, your preference, and he gets 500 attack for every one removed from play. So you only have to remove 1 to special summon him. So I mean, people usually think, oh wow, he's super weak, whatever, but it's his other effect that's great. It sends all other monsters on the field to the grave. Sends, not destroys. So a lot of people can't get their effects off that way, can't use a trap or anything off that has to do with destroying. So it's an awesome card, a really great top deck, a really great MVP of the deck. I suggest getting one. Alright, so now we're moving on to spells. That was my complete monster list. Here I've got Future Fusion, Overload Fusion, and Limiter Removal. Future Fusion, I usually search up to 5 or 6 targets for Chimera Tech over Dragon to deck thin and to also have some light and dark attributes in my graveyard. So it's Chimera Tech over Dragon automatically sends all other cards on the field to the grave on my side, so it's pointless to you know think you're gonna win with it because it's just gonna go to the grave right away. But it's great for deck thinning. You got your Overload Fusion, so if you happen to have Future Fusion on the field, you can use Overload Fusion immediately after and just hit out the same Chimera Tech Overdragon using those same targets, and you have a huge beater, and he's not in fear of having a continuous spell card on there protecting him. So it would send Future Fusion to the grave, so you don't worry about another one. So you have just a giant beater on your field. And limited removal for my machine targets in my deck, so it doubles all attacks and sends them to the grave, so it's a great game changer, a great winning card. So this deck can get pretty slow, so I have my 3 Pot of Dualities that are really trusty and everything. You can get out some extra protection, some extra spells, traps, or anything that you need, so it's great to have. Deck thin, it's good. And you've got your staple cards, Moss Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and 2 MSTs. It seems to work out pretty well, pretty consistent, so. And the one tech card I threw in for these locals that's a spell is Mind Control. I'm sure a lot of people use this. I mean, I know a lot of people use this, so it's great. And it actually got me a match win using him and a level 4 and taking my opponent's level 4 to exceed for the win, so it was great. It was a great card to use. And that was my spell lineup, so now it's time for traps. I've got my 2 Torrentials and my 1 Mirror Force for staples. My Dimensional Prison and my Call of the Haunted. I only run 1 each. I'm still working on that. I'm not sure if I'm going to run 2 of each or take 1 out. But it seemed to work for this particular local, so I was fine with it. And 2 Black Horn of Heavens. I hate using the Solemn lineup in this deck because I hate having to pay life points because you're so concerned about this deck with life points. So it's good to have as a negate of special summons. Well, that was my whole deck. That was 41 cards. So now let's move on to the extra deck. Got my 2 Chimera Tech Overdragons. Just the second one is great to have because if you have your Future Fusion out and he gets sent to the graveyard immediately, you have another one in case you get your Overload Fusion out. So it's a good idea to have 2. Got my 2 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragons, so I can contact if I want on my side of the field or my opponent. So it's great to have. Immediate, like, you could get out 6,000 beater if you really want to. I happened to do that against my teammate Bleak Dragon, which you've seen his deck profile in Kara Curries, and managed to beat him doing that, so it was pretty funny. And you've got your XYZ fusion cards. You got 1 each because it's hard to get them out, honestly, because you're not really looking to get them out, but I mean, you can. And they have decent effects. This destroys, they all destroy, but this destroys any card, and they all have their specific cards to destroy, and they're decent. They're also light attribute, so it's great target for chaos. And I've got my Stardust, Red Dragon Archfiend, my Black Rose Dragon, and my Ancient Fairy Dragon. It's all my synchros I have in here. So I've got my 2 level 7 targets and my 2 level 8 targets for my Gen X Ally Birdman. And I usually go for Black Rose, honestly, because they honestly get a lot of field advantage with my deck facing up against them. But hey, it gets rid of them, and I can usually win. And then for my Exceed monsters, I've got 2 number 39 Utopia and my Gemini Pearl. And this is the card that I exceeded into for that match win with my Mind Control, so it was pretty sweet. It was the first time I got to use it, and the first time I got to win with it. So that was my extra deck, 15, obviously. Now let's move on to my side deck. I'm a horrible side decker. If anybody has suggestions for that would be awesome, but I think I did alright for this particular time. If I had Elemental Hero the Shiny, I would have had Super Poly sided and one of him sided, but I mean, it's easy to get the shiny, but I just didn't happen to have one. So I've got Gores, Cyber Dragon, another Cyber Eltonin, 2 Effect Veilers, 2 DD Crows, 2 Fossil Dynapackies, 2 T-Kings, 2 Nico Mains, extra Battle Fader, and Scapegoat. And that's my deck profile for everybody. I hope you liked it. Subscribe to us. We're a new channel. That's Team TFB again, and I'm Tahar14, and I'm signing out.